We've talked about Saudi Arabia's poor human rights record. We talked about them sports washing, especially after Live Golf and PGA Tour struck a deal. So why are players going over there?
I mean, every player's different. I mean, for one, the paydays are outsized. There's minimal taxes. For a lot of players, it's a chance to kind of wind down their careers or compete in lesser competition while staying relevant. I mean, it really depends. Karim Benzema is one who, he is a practicing Muslim, and he expressed how exciting this was for him to go play in a Muslim country. At the end of the day, we kind of got to look at what's happening, and we're seeing these reports of these outsized paydays. And I've spoken to a lot of people in the industry, and it seems like there's a sense that some of this could be inflated. The Saudis are generally opaque about how they do business, and their spending sometimes can not necessarily follow a traditional rhyme or reason. But they have the money to spend, and they're shaking up the sport. The country's sovereign wealth fund, which has $700 billion in assets under management, took over for the teams in the Saudi Pro League earlier this year. So that's all part of this plan to kind of build this global soccer power.
I do want to take a step back here and talk about the flip side. And there is one player, Lionel Messi, who was offered a massive deal by the Saudis. He ended up turning it down. So first, why did he turn it down? And second, how did he still find himself on this list despite saying no to that massive deal?
Yeah, I can't speak to Messi's personal thinking on why he didn't want to take that. Also, obviously it was reported figures, so we don't 100% know the accuracy of the numbers going out there. But it was reported that he was offered a roughly $1.6 billion deal over 3 years, which is just an outsized salary. Ultimately, we've heard the rumors and the rumblings for a long time that Messi had a desire to come to America and play in Major League Soccer, and that obviously proved true earlier this year when he announced he was coming. MLS has a history of bringing stars over, usually in a lot of cases, like when you think about David Beckham or Zlatan Ibrahimovic, it's at the end of their careers where they're winding down. Even at 36, Messi is still at the very top of his game. And, he certainly deserves to be paid that way at this point. We project his on-field earnings to be $65 million for the upcoming year. And, that includes the reported share of revenue he's going to get from Apple TV and Adidas. Those numbers can obviously blow out to a certain degree too with incentives and performance. But Messi is arguably still the greatest player in the world. He's still fresh off a World Cup win. The Messi circus has been coming around the U.S. I remember a few weeks ago, he was sitting out injured when they were playing the Chicago Fire, but even still, 62,000 people poured into Soldier Field to see Inter Miami play. So the effect is real, and off the field, he remains one of the most marketable players.
And you actually got the opportunity to see him on the field in person. You got to witness the Messi effect firsthand. But before I let you go, can you lay out the rest of the list for us?
Yeah. So, besides Messi and the Saudi Pro League players, there are a number of other players who qualified for the list. Leading the one still playing in Europe is Kylian Mbappe at $110 million in total earnings. But also there were 3 Premier League players who made the list: Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City, and also Mohamed Salah from Liverpool. And then rounding it out, Harry Kane, who recently moved from the Premier League to Bayern Munich, and Robert Lewandowski playing over in FC Barcelona.
Justin Birnbaum, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Brittany.